What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including another WWE release confirmed, fans try to hijack Raw, is WWE going too far, a major return teased, has R-Truth joined ONLYFANS, has The Miz been released, a scary injury occurs before Raw, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now, as always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, the Summer of Punk. A Raw kicked off with CM Punk cutting a passionate promo focused on the Money in the Bank briefcase. Punk would declare that it's now the Summer of Punk and he once again wants the gold around his waist. This type of promo was badly needed to sell the Money in the Bank ladder match, as there's a lack of focus on the credibility of the concept itself, and WWE are sadly presenting it as just another match that doesn't really mean much. Punk would also directly mention John Cena as WWE Champion and even had time to address The Rock, which was a nice act of continuity from one of WWE's top babyfaces. Number 2, We Want Truth. The crowd would hijack numerous segments and matches with chants of "We Want Truth." Sadly, they quickly died down, so they weren't too noticeable to impact the segments or the matches themselves. But with that being said, it was fantastic to see the crowd get behind Truth, and hopefully WWE actually listens and brings him back into the fold. Number 3, Vaquer in the Bank. WWE are going all in on presenting Stephanie Vaquer as an absolute megastar. Vaquer has now qualified for Money in the Bank on Saturday, and she has to be considered a strong contender to win the contract. Vaquer dropping the NXT Women's title last week came as a huge surprise, but evidently WWE have significant plans for her on the main roster, and this included a spot in the annual Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And Lyra shines. The feud between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch is made for the most consistent program on TV in 2025. The two have incredible chemistry, and their promo exchange on Raw last night was stellar. Valkyria has managed to hold her own on the mic, and she's coming out of the feud looking like a main event level star. There's a ton of hype ahead of their final encounter at Money in the Bank at the weekend, and hopefully the climax of the feud delivers to the high standards that both women have previously set. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1 ran its course. The main event of Raw saw CM Punk take on AJ Styles and El Grande Americano. The match acted as the final men's Money in the Bank qualifier, and in shocking fashion, Americano picked up the W. Fans firmly expected Punk to head to the Money in the Bank, so this was a major surprise. There was a lot of fantasy bookings shared by fans related to Punk with the briefcase, and some were even pushing the idea of Punk cashing in on John Cena. A plethora of fans are sharing their displeasure at the outcome on social media as they believe that Americano gimmick has run its course. Now don't get us wrong, Americano, or well, Gable, is insanely talented, but it's definitely time for him to revert to his prior persona. And the feud never ends. And the main event of Raw went off the rails when WWE ended the match with yet another run-in. Seth Rollins' faction would cost Punk the match before Sami Zayn and Jey Uso evened the odds. For whatever reason, WWE is scared of booking Raw to end in a clean, decisive manner, and it's becoming extremely repetitive. Punk and Rollins have been feuding since late 2024, and they need to end this feud sooner rather than later, as there's nothing left to explore. Well, at least nothing was downright ugly on this week's show. The show continues to have the benefit of the flexible time format, as the 2.5-hour runtime is just about right for a weekly pro wrestling broadcast. The show did a strong enough job to promote the two respective Money in the Bank matches, and the Red Brand is without a doubt WWE's top weekly show. We also love the added touches of both Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio showing their respect for now soon to be released Carlito. If you look closely on Liv's boot, you could see Carlito and all the Judgment Day names on her boot, as well as Dominic Mysterio repping a Carlito t-shirt. What do you guys think of the Red Brand this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at fans try to hijack Raw. Now, our top story today takes a look at the fallout of fans attempting to hijack Raw last night. During multiple segments on Raw last night, the fans would chant for R-Truth. This continued when Raw had even gone off the air, as when CM Punk was cutting a promo in the ring, he allowed the chants to continue before addressing them directly by stating, "How dare you chant for someone who's not here?" Punk knows firsthand what it's like to have fans chanting your name in support, and it remains to be seen if WWE are going to respond to the fan backlash relating to Truth's shocking WWE release. In fact, not only did Triple H get hijacked on his Twitter post, but so did TKO, as the TKO group took to X to nicely put out a schedule for this week's shows including UFC. But the post was hijacked with more outraged fans of WWE's decision to release R-Truth and Carlito. Next up, another WWE release confirmed. Now, the WWE releases don't appear to be slowing down, as another wrestler has confirmed that WWE won't be renewing their contract. Sarah Logan, aka Valhalla, took to Instagram yesterday to announce that she will be leaving WWE. "I come to you with tears in my eyes because our time has come to a sudden end. WWE informed me yesterday that they are letting my contract expire. To be completely honest, my ego can't help but be damaged. You always assume that when you end a lifelong career, there's going to be a grand exit, but here I am, using the Notes app on my phone, typing up a goodbye letter to an entity that I will forget I was even there. I truly take no offense to this. My career as it was is getting usurped by my vocation, and it's all on a divine timeline that I trust deeply." Logan would continue by extending thanks to the fans and stating that she's going to miss the WWE audience. Logan's post on Instagram is filled with WWE stars past and present offering their support, so it's evident that Logan made an extremely positive impression during her time in the company. Logan last wrestled back in February of 2024, and she was in the midst of taking time away from WWE due to giving birth to her second child. Next up is WWE going too far. Since the TKO buyout, WWE have been utterly obsessed with plastering brands and logos on anything they can. Having sponsorships for matches and having specific logos on the ring mat and turnbuckles has received endless criticism from fans, as the majority of big WWE shows look like one giant marketing event. This was definitely the case at Wrestlelamia 41, as some would say that WWE and TKO just went a little overboard with the amount of sponsors, and it was almost as if that's all the company cared about. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like this is ending anytime soon. In fact, it's getting much worse. WWE announced yesterday that they've agreed a new deal with Slim Jim. This sponsorship deal will see the Slim Jim logo presented on all WWE folding tables. Slim Jim will become the center ring sponsor during every edition of WWE's weekly flagship program on Monday Night Raw. In addition to the in-ring placement, WWE will introduce a first-of-its-kind integration which will see Slim Jim branding on all folding tables used across tentpole programs such as Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and WWE PLEs. This branded table placement will create unforgettable moments when WWE superstars snap into a Slim Jim table during matches. This announcement received instant eye rolls from fans on social media, as a lot of the fans questioned the need for this sponsorship and wondered if folding tables are really something that needs a logo plastered all over them. Additionally, the fact that WWE have already coined a phrase for when a wrestler goes through the sponsored table is alarming, and before you know it, we could be watching WWE where certain finishers, such as the RKO, have their own unique sponsors. WWE have been called out for yet another groundbreaking sponsorship deal, yet still releasing talent. Releasing a beloved and iconic name such as R-Truth, who was clearly one of the most popular names in the locker room, only for 24 hours later to announce another sponsorship deal isn't great for talent morale, and it's ultimately showing that WWE and TKO only care about dollars and cents. I really have no doubt in my mind we'll be seeing the McDonald's WWE Championship next year. Next up, WWE teasing a major return. There's been rampant speculation that Roman Reigns could be returning at Money in the Bank, and after the final moments of Raw last night, this speculation has only increased. After Seth Rollins and his faction cleared house, Michael Cole would question who was going to be able to stop Rollins from winning Money in the Bank on Saturday. Was this WWE teasing that Reigns is going to return to stop Rollins from winning the briefcase? It would certainly make a lot of sense and would allow WWE to build towards an epic final showdown between Reigns and Rollins, potentially at SummerSlam in August. Next up, here's a wild one. Has R-Truth joined ONLYFANS? Now, we get that a lot of WWE superstars want to try out new ventures, but has R-Truth joined ONLYFANS? Fans have managed to locate an ONLYFANS account under R-Truth's name, and the description of the profile is interesting to say the very least. I mean, Truth is ready to release Big Jimmy on us all. Now, even though this screenshot has been making the rounds and looks genuine, it kind of is, but it's certainly not R-Truth. If you notice first, there's no verification on the account, so anybody could have made this, and unless this is in anticipation of when Truth finally leaves WWE, WWE wouldn't have allowed him to make an account in the first place, as we all knew what happened to Mandy Rose. Whatever the case, it's kind of insane that the description says that this is his new Twitter blog. Next up, a former WWE star reveals she almost died. Alana Black, formerly known as Cora Jade, recently appeared on the Ariel Helwani show, and during the interview, she revealed that in early 2023, she almost died and ended up in emergency surgery due to an ectopic pregnancy that had failed and had led to internal bleeding. In January 2023, I was supposed to wrestle Lara Valkyria on Tuesday, and long story short, I ended up in emergency surgery in the hospital the night before, literally almost dying and bleeding out because I had an ectopic pregnancy that had failed and exploded and made me internally bleed, and I was rushed into emergency surgery because I was like this close to bleeding out. But thank God I went, because I was literally thinking, I just have to get through the match tomorrow. I knew something wasn't right, but I was like, I just have to get through the match. And I'll get through the match, I'll get through the match, I'll get through the match. And she would add that what was occurring to her body was life-threatening, and when she eventually returned to WWE, she went through a period of serious depression. Like, I'm bleeding and I have to go to the hospital. I had IUD birth control. It's like a 99.9% success rate, but they warn you beforehand of ectopic pregnancies, which, if you're not familiar, it's where the egg is implanted outside of the uterus and the fallopian tube, and that causes the fallopian tube to explode. Obviously, you internally bleed and extremely life-threatening. Had the emergency surgery, they ended up having to remove my left fallopian tube, and then I was bummed out about missing Stand and Deliver. After I came back those few months, I was just the most mentally depressed I've ever been in my life. Now, Black deserves all the credit in the world for having the true courage to share a story. Black's interview with Ariel Helwani was an eye-opening watch, and thankfully she's still continuing a journey in pro wrestling, with even expressing interest in joining AEW. We're wishing her all the best. Next up, has The Miz been released? Now, there was concern online yesterday that former WWE champion The Miz had been released. This concern came after The Miz unfollowed WWE on X and removed all references to WWE from his X account. According to Fightful Select, it doesn't appear that The Miz has been let go. Though there has been much speculation about The Miz's status after people notice him unfollowing WWE, we've not been told whatsoever that he's been informed of his contract not being renewed. Now, this is positive news, as WWE releasing another seasoned veteran would have led to mass uproar from fans as well as WWE talent. And finally, a scary injury occurs before Raw. Now, final story today takes a look at the latest when it comes to an injury to a WWE star. Before Raw at a WWE speed taping, Joaquin Wilde was wrestling Lexis King, and Wilde was knocked out clean. Wilde has since taken to X to state that being knocked out during a match is a lot to process, but thankfully he's going to be okay. Fan footage of the match shows Wilde lying knocked out in the ring surrounded by medical staff, and it's a very scary visual to say the very least. We're definitely glad that he's doing okay. But there you have it, folks, our look at Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. We'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.